I guess now we have to kind of look at the reality of what's happening over in the Middle East. I've been saying this for 27 years now. Once I understood what Kerr-McGee did upstream at the Riley Pass abandoned uranium mine and the abandoned nuclear processing plant there. Right, Kerr-McGee was able to take the uraniferous lignite, that's low-grade coal, and then it has a layer of uranium on top of it that they said was deposited there by volcanic action or meteoric action. But the reality is that this uraniferous coal represents nuclear proliferation. Okay, I've been saying this for 27 years. You don't need a gas centrifuge to make a nuclear bomb. Kerr-McGee did it out there in the Riley Pass area. And they blew off the Butte Cap, and it's a pretty big mess out there. They're trying to cover it up because us guys drank the water, the Hunkpapas downstream, and then we have a colonial government where they put one tribe that oppresses us, the Yanktonais, they're Dakota. Us guys are Lakota. The Hunkpapas down here, but nobody really understands it. They'd rather believe the lies, But anyway, over there in the Middle East, they're death cults. Okay, Judaism, Christianity, Islam. They are all death cults. They came here to this country, and now they're claiming this country as their promised land, Why don't they just get over it? They're not the chosen people. The Lakota people are the chosen people, As everybody all over all the Indians, they all ran with us, then all of a sudden they quit running with the Indians up here, the Lakotas. Just used us for their things. But then that's all right, too. Most of them were sellout nations anyway, And people will probably say, oh, he's bringing up the past. But then most of those tribes that will have to suffer the coming starvation, the best way to say it is, that's what they wanted. They sided up with the white people, the Washichilas, and decided to try to hunt down the Lakotas. And well, karma took a little while, and they came back to take them. And that's the way it goes. That's what karma does, But then most of all the other people are just as pitiful too, because in the Black Six prophecy, as my grandmother told me, Grandma Philomene, she said that her grandfather, Old Man Helper, told her that out of the good things that would happen to the Hunkpapas once the white people lost their power, but when the whole system decides to collapse. She said that some of the guys that be really supporting the whole thing, once it starts blowing itself up, then they're going to start crying and all this other stuff. They'll be wishing that it was back, and they'll be wishing that they could continue oppressing them and keeping them drunk and keep them messed up, But that system is going to collapse. It's collapsing right now, But people don't see it that way. They see it as some type of nothing ever bad's going to ever happen. But around you can look around in the community and they say that. That's not the way it was supposed to be, where the community is just basically spinning out alcoholics and meth addicts, and younger people getting drunk and using it. And everybody trying to escape from it, escape from reality. But the reality is that there's no escape. This community has 3 days of food. Within 3 days, on the 4th day, people will start considering eating each other. That's what happened in Ukraine twice. In the 1920, 22 to 23, and 1930 to 32 to 33. And both of them were government enforced, or Russian government enforced starvation programs against the leadership of the Ukrainian people. Both times they attacked their leadership by devaluing their currency and then stealing their food. They went and just took all their food off the shelves and everything, the Russian soldiers and everything. And then the people that didn't agree with them, they let them die. And they called them kulaks. property owners, you know. Back then there was a big thing of collectivization. It was going to be the greatest thing on earth, and it failed. Just like on this side of the world, the Lakota, the Hunkpapas up here, we had the major irrigation projects stretching from Little Eagle, from the Grand River, from the Missouri River, all the way up the Grand River, all the way to almost Black Horse. And greed brought them down. You know, there's not enough water. Then everybody was volunteering, you know, to keep things going. But volunteering only goes so far, you know. The volunteer decided to steal all the food, so then the whole thing collapsed. The whole self-sufficiency garden fell apart on them, you know. So nobody wants to work, you know, even though that's what we need to survive. We need the food, and nobody's even preparing for it. So I said, well, that's the way it goes. In the end, they'll be sitting there along the fire that they're trying to hide from the Katanka is going to show. He said, Katanka is going to show a great big symbol in the sky so that all the people know that he is real and that this is his power and this is his time, that he's judging the world. And whether it's a he or she, it doesn't matter. It's a spirit that controls us. You know, we don't know what it is. That's why they call it the Great Spirit. So they're coming to take us out now. Take out the whole world. See it right here? You have to realize that I've been talking about non-proliferation for 27 years with respect to the uraniferous lignite. You know, that stuff is deadly. You know, that stuff, you can make a nuclear weapon with it without gas centrifuges. All you have to do is boil off the carbon ash, and that's it. Burn off the lignite, and you have yourself 99% pure uranium dioxide. You know, that thing is, you just put that together with some of these anhydrous ammoniums and stuff, and then boom, you have a big explosion. But then they think they know everything, the white people, so I don't think the white people are even aware of it. You know, they don't really want to connect that because that's their only stick. That's the only way that they control people, that they can control governments and countries, is by declaring that they're like gods. They can destroy cities and, you know, big holes in the ground. They're like gods, like God with Great Spirit would send the rock, and, you know, like that one over there in Islam, you know, the big black stone. Over on this side, the big rocks always fall, you know, and they destroy the world and kill all the monsters and stuff like that. But nobody wants to listen to the natives, you know. So, well, that's good for them too, you know. So it's coming for them, though. Their world is going to fall apart. It's going to be gone forever. Or for about 10,000 years. Nobody's going to want to be with these white people anymore. They'll go back to their crawling under the ground, hiding in the caverns underground, but they'll never come back to the surface again. And that's the way it is. You know, even the sun doesn't like them, but then that's their problem, not ours. They're the ones that think that they can be like gods and destroy the planet, do whatever, try to make people all scared of nuclear war. I tell people on here on the reservation, when nuclear war comes, it's going to be might be a couple of flashes in the horizon, but then that's it. That's all we're going to see, you know. And then I said, maybe within a week or so, we'll start seeing the radioactive dust coming in. And I said, all you have to do is just quit breathing the dust. And that's it. That's it. There's not going to be any free food or anything of that. And it's going to be gone. And then the Civil War starts. And that stuff. Oh, well, that's what they wanted. Everybody wants to rule the world.